Hey Gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the 6th generation of Honda's best-selling SUV, CUV, their CRV, and this is the Sport Touring all-wheel drive hybrid version. This vehicle has long played second fiddle to the best-selling in the segment, Toyota RAV4, but now it is also having to steer off competition from vehicles like that Hyundai Tucson we recently tested. How good is this vehicle? And is this sport touring hybrid model the most athletic of the bunch? Stay tuned. Before we get started with this one, I do want to thank Honda for bringing us this 2023 version to sample for you here on the channel. I know the title said 2024, but not much has changed for the 2024 model year. Base price has gone up about $900. For one spec just like this, it's just over $1,700, and they've added a new trim. But all the specifics about this 2023 are, well, still applicable to the 2024 models, including what powers this vehicle. So, being the hybrid model, we get a 2-liter direct injection 4-cylinder versus the 1.5 in the non-hybrid models. This is mated to an electric motor and all-wheel drive through a continuously variable transmission and employs a 1.1 kilowatt-hour lithium-ion battery. Total system output is 204 horsepower and 247 pound-feet of torque. You do get real-time all-wheel drive with intelligent control in this one, 4 different drive modes, which consist of ECON, Normal, Sport, and Snow, and a lot of other fun things. The fuel economy on this one is really good. 40 mpg in the city, 34 on the highway, and 37 combined. I really do appreciate the larger engine and the more sporty nature of this one. We'll get more into that when we're actually behind the wheel. As we close the hood on this one, we can really take in the new updated styling for the 2023 model year, carrying on to 2024 and beyond. This is the best the CRV has looked, hands down, in its entire lifespan, all 6 generations. I really think it is very handsome. It is the best implementation, I believe, of the new Honda styling that we also see on the Accord, the Civic, and the Pilot, which we have recently tested here on the channel as well. I think everything just works on this, which again is very befitting because this is the best-selling SUV or crossover from the brand. It all works very well. Very muscular straight lines, very pronounced grille on this one. I like it a lot. You can see we get LED running lights, turn signals, fog lights, all the things LED up front here. And we do get a little bit of air pass-through right here on the front curtain, but we don't get any fog lights on this one, which, I don't know, seems like a slight miss to me. I always loved fog lights and looking high school cool by turning them on when starting the vehicle. As we come around to the side here, you can see we get black high gloss 19-inch wheels wrapped in Continental cross contact tires. These are two 35/55R 19-inch Continental cross contact tires wrapped around these gloss black 19-inch wheels. Give it a nice sporty athletic look and contrast nicely against our dark blue paint job. As we pull around to the side, you can see we've got all that black lower cladding that makes SUVs look like they're sitting a little bit higher off the road than they actually are. The ingress egress of this vehicle is really good. It is a very easy vehicle to get in and out of. It's why some of my family have owned them for many years now and multiple generations of them. We get a continuation of that clean styling from up front, a lot of straight lines, a lot of just bold square look on this vehicle, which really speaks to the current design language of many brands. Big boxy SUVs are in right now, even if they aren't the most aerodynamic. As we come around to the back, you can see we get LED running lights back here, but incandescent turn signals, LED brake lights, and the CRV signature pillar taillights back here in the back. That has stuck around since the first generation. Again, very boxy styling back here. As we come down, you can see we get what looks to be a dual exit exhaust, but only the passenger side is really the exhaust outlet, and it is not connected to that squarish design port back there, and just for symmetrical sake, we get one on the driver's side as well. Back on the back, we get a bright hybrid badge, a bright CRV badge, but a blacked out sport badge that contrasts kind of jarringly with all the other like bright work on this one. The touring is even chromed on this one, or bright on this one. I don't know, I feel like you should either black it all out or chrome it all. It just seems a little disjointed, but otherwise it looks very clean, very nice back here. Very, again, boxy styling. We do get a all-wheel drive designation back here in the back window. It is just a sticker. I could actually just peel this off right now if I really wanted to. There are a few different ways to get into the back of the CRV. You can electronically release it from the button down there. You can use the key fob, or if your hands are full, you can simply just kick under the center of the rear bumper and it will electronically open. Back here, being the hybrid version, underneath this load floor is where the battery resides. Batteries are much like people. They like to be kept at room temperature around 70 degrees. So that really is good for the longevity of the battery, but does cut into additional cargo space of the non-hybrid models. This one, as it sits, gets 34.7 cubic feet of storage space right here, right now, behind the rear seats, which falls short of that Hyundai Tucson we recently tested by, well, 3 or 4 cubic feet. And if you fold the rear seats down, it bests that Hyundai Tucson with 76.5 cubic feet, just about 1 cubic foot more than that Hyundai Tucson. It is a very class competitive cargo area. Really low load floor, very square, wide opening, which makes it very easy to load things into. One thing that is unfortunate, though, there are no remote latches or releases for the rear seats to lower them from back here. So if you've got long cargo, you're either going to need to go up to the door right here or reach kind of far in to fold the seats down from back here. You do get this little gap filler right here that helps keep crumbs and stuff from falling in between the seats and what's behind the seats, if you would. This one, I'll go ahead and show you, only has top tethers on the outboard seats, no center top tether. Even if you peek back here behind, again, this gap filler, there's just no center top tether here on the CRV, which kind of is a unique omission in the segment because this will be a popular family vehicle. We do get a little additional power back here, but not a lot of amenities back here in the back to speak of. The hatch opens very wide. It is an adjustable height. I'm 5'10". You can see I've got plenty of room underneath it. Plenty of room in our 1963 built garage. And you can see, yes, it is programmable. The button is right here, but you don't have to close it by pushing that button. If it is open too high for you, you can simply just come up and kick under the bumper once more. Before we get in this one, I did want to show you the key. Typical Honda proximity key, very small, very compact, but with all the necessary functions on it. You can see lock, unlock, remote start, hatch, and panic. You can deploy a physical key from the bottom down here. And I like that Honda also numbers them so that you don't have to and you can tell them apart, because that does tie to your driver profile and stuff like that. But you can keep it in your pocket, your purse, wherever. Very compact, very easy to do, and just walk up to the vehicle because we do have a passive entry system. You can simply lock it by pushing right there or unlock it by touching on the back of the doors. You can see that is only on the front doors, not the back doors. So if you've got a loaded kit in, you're going to be tapping the front door handle first and then going back to the back door. Being the Sport Touring trim, we get the leather interior with the orange stitching, and that starts here on the doors. We'll talk more about the seats when we get into the seats. Power windows, door locks, and all of your controls here. 2-person memory seat, and this interesting pattern on this gloss black plastic that continues across the dash. Looking at the seats, we do have a multi-positional seat here with 2-way lumbar. They are very nicely leather wrapped seats with that orange stitching. They are heated but not ventilated. They are nicely bolstered and have been very comfortable for us. As we come in, sit behind the leather wrapped steering wheel, it too has all that orange stitching, which is very nice. It is heated as well. We'll go ahead and let it go through all its things. We do have a 7-inch digital screen right here with an actual analog speedometer. We'll go ahead and put our foot on the brake and start it up. As it works through all its chimes, we'll start over my left knee. We get a couple of poverty buttons right here, even though this is the top trim. I'm wondering what we're missing here, why these are here instead of an actual feature. Your hatch release button, traction control button, a joystick for your HVAC controls, as well as an on-off slider right here. All that just over your left knee. Typical Honda steering wheel, just like the Pilot that we recently tested. Heated steering wheel, all your driver control functions here, your radio control functions here, and this controls that 7-inch screen over here. You can see we can page through a bunch of different things like driver attention warning, audio, range, fuel, power flow, warnings, lots of stuff here that we can actually pay attention to. I really like putting it on this so I can see how my all-wheel drive is working. You also get traffic sign recognition here in the middle and a few little extra display items on that display screen. And then again, this is a fully analog speedometer that just darkens itself really nicely to give the effect that this is a fully digital screen. No head-up display in this one, which I guess is okay in this price point. We are just under $40,000 for 2024. This one is going to crest that $40,000 price point just a smidge. Coming over here, we get a 9-inch wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto infotainment system tied to a Bose 12-speaker sound system. It all works very quick and snappy. I like how we have a physical home button and a physical back button. You can see we've got a lot of different things that we can go into here with a bunch of shortcuts there along the bottom. Down here we get our Honda Civic style honeycomb grille going across, which hides the fact that we've got 2 vents here, nothing across here, and then another vent over there. And we get joysticks for all of them. It is a dual function, dual zone climate control system that is automatic. You can sync it to work together. Heated seats, but no ventilated seats here on this one. USB-A and USB-C. USB-A is what is used to interface with the Apple CarPlay and Android Auto if you want to do it through the wired connection, but it is wireless. USB-C is simply for power. We get an additional power port right here. Qi wireless charger. It has been my experience. Honda's wireless chargers do not work the best, so it has been kind of hit or miss. I do like how you can just hold that button and turn it off, and now this is free to use for whatever. We do have a CVT in this one, but we get a mechanical gear selector right here. I really like that a lot. When you put it in reverse, you can see our backup camera, and because, yes, we are in hybrid and the engine is not actually on right now, we get that EV backup noise. It is a decent camera. It's a little on the grainy side, not the clearest, and you can see we don't have 360 cameras on this one like we did in the similarly priced Hyundai Tucson that we tested recently here on the channel. Just some misses versus the competition. You can also put this in B mode, which is your regenerative braking, which does help with the fuel economy. We'll talk more about that when we're driving. Different drive modes right here. You can see we've got normal, sport, econ, and snow, and that is it. We do get downhill descent control, electronic park and brake hold for in traffic, couple side-by-side cup holders with grippers, a little bit of storage right here, but hard black plastic that is going to rattle. We get a decent sized center console. It is actually rather huge by comparison with this little tray that's got a couple different locations that you can put it in. I like it. It's fairly nice. We get this leatherette covering with stitching right here. I don't know, maybe it's real leather. You let me know in the comments. We get a decent sized glove box here. It's a little on the small size, but it'll do the job. And you can see not damped, not lined with felt. A little bit of storage in the doors, a little bit of storage in the door handles, and we've got a little bit of storage up here for sunglasses, as well as our controls for our standard size sunroof right here. No panoramic roof in this one. I've got plenty of headroom, no complaints here. Fairly comfortable up here, but let's hop into that back seat and see what the back seat is like in the CR-V sitting behind myself at 5'10". Can see we do have a split folding back seat. I'll go ahead and fold this side down and show you what that is like. It does kind of catch on Tucker's car seat, but again, that little gap filler right here. You can see exactly why that's here from this position right here. This is the most upright position. I'm gonna go ahead and sit in it like that, but I did want to call out this third seatbelt does disconnect for if you really want to use this for cargo carrying, and you don't have to worry about that seatbelt all the way. Back on the back doors here, we get the same treatment as the front doors. Nothing really spectacular to write home about back here. No sunshades, just general accommodations back for the backseat drivers. Yeah, the upright position, my head is on the ceiling. It is slightly compromised because of the sunroof. I can feel there is a cutout right back behind where my head is right now. But let's go ahead and, whoa, recline the seat. It reclines pretty far back and it gives quite a comfortable seating position all the way around. I've got plenty of legroom behind myself at 5'10". This is a very comfortable back seat. Once you recline it just a little bit, I don't even think you have to do a full recline. You get air vents on the back of the center console back here and a couple of USB-C power ports back here, but not a lot of amenities to speak of back here, just to be overly luxurious. We do get a full down center armrest with 2 cup holders, so that's a nice touch. Also like how the 40% of the 60/40 split bench is here on the passenger side. That's where we always like to put Tucker's child safety seat. If you want to see us install this, be sure and hit subscribe so you see our family review when that drops next. But that's enough of a tour of this one. Let's get behind the wheel and see how it drives. Hopping in, putting it in B mode, we can talk a little bit about hybridification and electrification. Honda has kind of been trailing behind competitors like Toyota when it comes to their hybrid models. Toyota has been the king of hybrid models for as long as hybrids have really been a thing, thanks to the Prius, and now all their other models being hybrids. But as that has allowed them to fall behind in electrification, to the fact that Honda saw an opportunity and partnered with General Motors for their first fully electric vehicle. We won't get into all of that, but we do have a video of that prologue here on the channel. Getting in and driving this vehicle, I can tell you, Honda is really banking on the future of hybridification of their vehicles because much like the Accord, that Honda anticipates 50% of their vehicles, of those vehicles being hybrids, they're expecting the same here with this CR-V, making the top trim the fastest and the most sporting model a hybrid model. This being the hybrid sport touring all-wheel drive, which we are testing here. And I can tell you from my time in it, it has been a little bit fun, but we're gonna get it on some twisty roads and see what this thing is like in the grand scheme of things. Again, I put this in B mode, which is like one pedal driving. It is not a full one pedal driving. I still had to put my foot on the brake to come to a stop at a stop sign like this. But it does work well in stop and go traffic for slowing you down and putting some power back into that 1.1 kilowatt hour battery, which we can see here on the display screen, exactly what we're getting, what we're expected in total range, etc., etc. This is a fairly economical big vehicle that is comfortable for 4 adults. I think 5 would be a little bit of a stretch. As we get out here onto some textured pavement, you can tell it's a little noisy. The road noise is a little bit aggressive on this one. I do believe Honda probably saved some weight and thus helped the fuel economy a little bit by downplaying the sound deadening, not going full bore on sound deadening, and it definitely comes through on pavement like this. It's not offensive, it's just not the best when it comes to a quiet, calm, serene ride. And being that this is also a hybrid that can work in full EV mode at low speeds, you don't even have the engine to kind of downplay the road noise in this. It does have some acoustic sound deadening, active noise canceling in it, but again, there's only so much you can do with electronics when it comes to overall sound deadening and road noise in this one. It really is road noise, not wind noise in this that you pick up on. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back into full drive mode, and we're gonna put it into sport as well. And we're going to get up here to a little bit of level ground and see exactly what this is like accelerating, because this is actually quicker than the 1.5 turbo 4-cylinder in the non-hybrid models by a couple tenths of a second. But we're going to brake torque it just a little bit, and it's a very interesting experience accelerating to 60 with this CVT, with that electric motor. You just hear a constant whine from that 2-liter engine under the hood. It is a jarring experience if you're used to going through gears as you accelerate, but it's rather quick. It's going to be more than enough to merge onto highways, to avoid things in the roadway, and to make a general positive driving experience. As the road starts to get twisty here, I can tell you that the suspension in this is fairly good. I'll speak to it a little bit more as we curve around some of these roads up here, but generally the suspension is doing a great job of soaking up the bumps. I have not had a problem with how this soaks up the bumps, but I'm just interested to see as we get further down this road how it leans into that sport moniker that it wears on its tailgate. Otherwise, it is a generally positive experience getting behind the wheel of this Honda CR-V Sport Touring. The all-wheel drive has never left us wanting for traction in general day-to-day activities. And yes, now that I'm curving down some windy roads just a little bit more, I can say the steering and the suspension are doing a great job of mitigating body roll and soaking up some of the bumps on the imperfections here in the roadway. Generally, yeah, it's a fun crossover, which is what you have to remind yourself. This is still a crossover. This is not a Honda Civic Type R. If you truly want a fun driving experience from something with an H badge on it, get you a Honda Civic. Definitely look into that Type R, because that one is absolutely a blast. But for the general public, I foresee this being more than enough for what the general public is looking for. It is fun, it is quick, it is sporty, and it is not too jarring. Though I do feel it being a little floaty over some of these undulations in the pavement underneath me. So bigger bumps and things can leave you kind of floating like you are in a boat. Other than that, it is comfortable, it is calm, it isn't going to upset passengers, and I don't believe switchbacks are really going to make many passengers sick from an overabundance of body roll. Generally, it's fairly well planted and a fairly well sorted crossover vehicle. I can absolutely see where Honda is going to continue selling a ton of these. I believe they're right at, if not just over, the 6 million vehicles sold bearing the Honda CR-V nameplate. So it is a very popular, very important vehicle for the brand. And I think this 6th generation is a very solid entry into the segment. It's definitely worth cross-shopping against the Toyota RAV4 and the up-and-comers like the Hyundai Tucson and the Kia Sportage. If you want to see more from us here on the channel, be sure and hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time a new video drops. You can find us on all social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. But as for me, from behind the wheel of the Honda CR-V Sport Touring Hybrid All-Wheel Drive, until next time, gearheads, bye.